Hi, I'm Eric D'Amato.
And I'm gonna get the ball rolling for the ending of this
And
series.
it's our last Halloween Mindbreakers of this horrible year.
Oh yes.
2020, it sucked.
Welcome, guys, to this horrific version of this twisted reality that we call Mindbreakers.
But which
The show that
reality
gives
is
you
it?
Fucking interdimensional diseases.
But which reality is it?
Which reality are we gonna be in? Where will it end?
Are we going to be in the nursing home, in the apocalypse?
Where? Where, oh where? But anyways, yeah, we're gonna be watching the fifth and final Phantasm, Phantasm 5 Ravager. It came out in 2016. You want to break it down?
Yeah, it has a 5 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes. It's the lowest score to the series, and it has the shortest description.
Yep.
The final installment of the long-running Phantasm series. Now, I have a quote, one of the tall man quotes that I spruce up to apply to this to the review. But the thing is, I had to rewatch the entire movie. Well, not the whole movie, but actually bring up the movie to find it. Because if you look on this one under memorable quotes, there's nothing. There's not a single freaking quotation.
Well, they can't get all of them, and the other quotes from the other movies are, in all honesty, better than the ones in this one. So.
This is this is the last one, and I believe it is Angus Scrimm's last film. Rest in peace, yep. Angus Scrimm.
It's gotta be his last film. I don't think he did anything other than this.
Pretty much everyone from the first film is back, including the Lady in Lavender. Rocky comes back in this one.
Rocky comes back right at the end.
Unfortunately, we don't get Timmy back, or whatever his name was.
He's not there.
He was cool. I liked him. He was a cool kid. It's rare to have a child actor who's legit a badass.
Yeah, and it was cool. I liked him hanging around.
His last film was Dances with Werewolves, where he played Newman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 2017.
Oh, okay. Alright, so he made it past the year at least. He did this.
He passed away at age 89 in 2016.
It's okay, man.
So I guess
may rest in peace.
They filmed Dances with Werewolves in 2016, but it came out in 2017. Alright, that makes sense.
Yeah, there's probably even parts of that where it was like a double that they got to just finish the film. It might be one of those cases.
He's known for Phantasm, Phantasm 2, John Dies at the End, and Phantasm 3.
Oh, he's in John Dies at the End?
Yeah, because that's a Don Coscarelli.
Yeah, but he's in that? Holy shit, I didn't even notice. I watched that a long time ago. I didn't notice at that time.
And one last thing before we jump into this. Two.
We gotta do the whole breakdown, actually.
Oh, no, I already did the breakdown.
Yeah, I guess. I could break it down also,
here,
I guess.
But I would just like to tell everyone two things. One, if you have Disney Plus or are, like me, a proud pirate, do what you like because a pirate is free. Today premieres Season 2 of The Mandalorian. So go torrent that. And do you remember a few years ago, Gio and I went to Comic-Con?
I remember that.
Yeah, they gave us sets of horror movie trading cards.
Yes, and Phantasm was one of them.
Yep, I found my Phantasm card.
Yay, that's cool. I have mine up in my closet somewhere. I'll look around for it after.
All right, so ready for the last great adventure of the Ice Cream Man?
Yeah, I'm ready for the Ice Cream Man to travel to three different dimensions and only one going anywhere.
There is a quote from the last movie that I think kind of predicted this movie, and I'd just like to say it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ice Cream Man.
Yep.
It's all in his head. Let's watch this.
Good. Yep, we'll watch it.
There are some schools of thought that suggest the possibility that one could be in two places at once.
tell what's real anymore. So I wander, following the tall man's path of destruction. One eye out for those spheres, and the other for him.
He is clearly delusional.
You're not even real. You're my bad dream. Stay out of my way.
Oh, it really is an amazing story.
Epic, actually.
You brought this on yourself. You're an unwanted pawn in the review. But your tenacity has amused me, and I've enjoyed your despair. But my use for you is at an end. You're not even real. You're my bad dream.
Yes, viewer, will never be safe, and you are always watching.
Because you lost the game.
Yep. Yeah, I'm looking at the just like to double back on what you were saying before. I'm looking at the IMDb for John Dies at the End. He plays Father Shellnut. I completely forgot about this.
Gotta check this movie out.
It's a great movie, honestly. We should watch it for Mindbreakers. I'm surprised we haven't yet.
We don't watch great movies for Mindbreakers.
Yeah, that's true. That I'll give you. But this one is one of those that's like weird enough that it's like arguably not a good film. But like I still like it a lot.
Clancy Brown.
Yeah, Clancy
I
Brown
love
too.
Clancy Brown. Doug Jones.
Yeah. A lot of good actors in it.
For a second,
like, not even just because of that. It's just a good film.
For a second, I misread Doug Jones as Doug Walker.
Yeah. Paul Giamatti's in it. He's good in that too.
He's good in most.
Him I remember entirely.
Anyway, shall we get to...
Yeah, let's talk about this.
So we start out with a much older Reggie with a shredded ice cream man suit emerging from the desert.
Looks badass.
And
he just looks badass.
I don't like this opening.
I like it.
You know why I don't like it?
It's stylish.
He's been dimension hopping for decades.
Mm-hmm. For the most part.
There's a rule in fiction, which is this the most interesting part of your character's life? And if not, why aren't you showing us that? I don't want to see him after he's been doing the exciting stuff. I want to see him doing the exciting stuff.
Yeah, you want to see him basically after the movie, what he's doing after all this.
At least.
That's what you really want to see.
At least give us, like, from Dark Horse or Dynamite Comics, a series, like a comic series about what happened during that time, or a follow-up to this movie, because, spoilers, this ends on a frickin' cliffhanger.
Yes, it does.
Now, general rule of thumb. Do not end your film on a cliffhanger if the actor playing the primary antagonist of your film and pretty much the star of your series is 89 years old.
Yeah, he's getting up in the years. You need to finish off the series right quick.
Like, because
while he's still around.
Angus Scrimm still has a commanding presence in this one, and he still has the voice, but you look at him, and it's like he's struggling to stay standing up for that long.
Yeah.
He looks
like, I feel like they could have just like had a lot of parts where he was like sitting in a chair or something instead of having him standing up all the time.
Like that cool chair he had in Phantasm 3 with the balls around him where he's in the mausoleum. He still looks intimidating in the chair.
Yeah. Because, like, he's, like, in, like, plain white rooms, standing there, talking to Reggie. It's like, no, just have him sit there. Like, he's an old man. Let him sit.
And before we really get into the plot of things...
Whatever, it's a minor grievance, I guess.
The CGI and the camera work in this movie make it seem less like a Hollywood film and more like a YouTube fan movie.
Yeah,
like a professional,
like of the time,
a professional YouTube fan movie, but still just a YouTube fan movie. This doesn't look like an official Phantasm film.
Well, because like they were probably like this close to not even finishing the franchise, you know. But then they were like, "Oh, okay, we have a budget and we've got some equipment and everything, and like Angus is still around. Okay, let's write up a script and let's make this thing, you know." And they just it so happened to turn into like basically full on 2016 action movie from there. So
we get a little recap of the past movies.
It's a sign of the times.
We get a little recap of the past movies.
Yeah, right quick.
And then the car's gone.
Yeah, he's just walking, right?
Yeah, the 1971 Cuda is not there.
But he does scavenge out a guitar from some random like dead body place somewhere.
Yep.
And then he ends up like taking that and walking along the road along with a teddy bear.
We
and
see
then
that
the car finds him.
Yeah, but someone has been murdered by balls, and the balls are still there.
Yeah. Well, like we see it twitching around and everything. Like the world is kind of still like reeling from like the tall man just like having its way with everything.
Yeah.
So like yeah, the car finds him. Basically, it's being driven by like pre-Subway diet Jared Fogle.
This is after Jared Fogle was a pedophile, though.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
It just looks like
so
him.
He's picked up by the car thief, and then
glasses.
Reggie does a dirty hit, gives him $50 for a ride.
Yeah.
And then it's like, not a lot of 71 Cudas on the road. You know, I lost one a lot like it. Actually, I had a Desert Eagle or something. I think I don't remember what kind it was, but let's say Desert Eagle.
Yeah.
In the
piece of chrome
in the middle
in the
console.
glove. Yeah.
And then the guy immediately goes for it, and then Reggie opens the glove box, pulls out the gun, and says, "It's in the glove compartment, asshole."
Yep. And then he gets him out of there.
Steals his clothes.
He takes his clothes because he's like, nice jacket.
And
then,
he drives off, and the thief gets bowled.
Uh-huh. He does indeed. He fucking gets, like, killed in, like... He gets, like, fucking mollywhopped by this thing in the back of the head.
Yep.
It just gets flung right into his fucking head.
And then two other balls are chasing the car.
His little nugget.
Two other balls just chase the car.
Yeah, there's, like, a shootout in the car. Then, like, he's having, like, this flash after he kills, like, all three balls. Well, like, shoots them all down.
He traps one in the glove box
and
shoots the glove
into
box.
Like, he's having a flash of, like, him sitting inside of a wheelchair.
Being pushed
and, like,
by
he's
Mike.
being pushed by Mike in, like, some sort of institution.
And he's getting a talking to from a glasses-wearing, tweed-jacketed Mike. About that the diagnosis is in, he was found wandering the desert like Moses, but he has dementia, early onset, but still dementia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you want to make your main character unreliable? Give him dementia.
You don't want to come up with a good story? Come up with 3 mediocre stories.
And then give your character dementia.
And
dementia, it's here for you.
Say, well... But that's not what happened. It's really true, though, and the tall man and everything. Well, the doc said
like, okay, fine, tell me a story then.
The doc said I should keep you engaged, so tell me again.
Yeah, so then he talks about a redhead that he picked up along the side of the road.
And then Spider-Man says, alright, we're going to do this one last time.
Fucking shit.
So yeah, he picks up a redhead whose car is broken down called Dawn. Fun fact, the actress's name is also Dawn.
Yes, this is true.
Reggie does his old sleazeball routine. Like, I'm
much less sleazy, though.
Okay, look, once he's at her house, he's trying to write a song to trick her into letting him sleep with her. And he can't remember her name. He's
I
a
think that was
sleazeball.
just like
He's a
him
sleaze.
kinda... Well, like, imagine that though. Like, you're on the fucking road in the desert. You haven't gotten to like sleep in a bed with someone like in so long, and you're an old man and like you've got this pretty redhead in like in the house with you. It's like, come on, you're not going to.
Yeah, but Reggie's still a sleaze.
Yeah.
The best moment
he ends
with
up passing
Reggie
out on the couch
in
anyway.
the whole series was with Rocky,
Yeah.
where she handcuffed him to the bed and just left.
Mhm.
That was...
This actually turns out to be one of the only girls aside from Rocky that's like perfectly normal.
Sort of.
That like he actually tries to hit on, you know?
Right, but she does die.
Yeah, she does. She dies twice, honestly.
Because the ball, it followed them.
Yep.
The ball is smart.
I guess she's a shadow because she died twice.
Okay.
That's a Sekiro reference. I don't know.
And then Reggie wakes up in a Civil War hospital.
Yep.
And then there's it's an older Jebediah Morningside is like, hey,
Yeah.
how you doing? Hate to tell you this, man, but they bring us here to die.
Yeah.
And then he's connected by his mutant fingers to Catherine Lester, the woman in lavender.
Yeah, and he goes, you'll never be safe. I'm always watching. And honestly, she looks creepy. Like, maybe not in that exact scene, but like the next scene we see her in, she looks fucking horrifying.
Like one of those old YouTube jump scare videos.
Yeah, which is kind of, again, sign of the times, 2016.
I don't think it was still a thing in 2016, though.
Yeah, they were. Come on, they were still making jump scare videos. They're still making jump scare videos now.
Yeah, but it wasn't as popular as
worse
like
quality
2009.
too, even, I'd say. In worse quality than fucking 2016 on top of that, and they're being made like now. Like, have you seen those Siren Head videos?
Nope.
Those videos are terrible.
I have not.
Like, look up one Siren Head video and you'll understand.
And then he wakes up in the nursing home.
Yeah.
And then he wakes up back on Don's couch.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to chart the different dimensions he got to, but by this point I just said fuck it and gave up on that. Like I can't follow this.
Mm-hmm. It's like, just like, okay, who the fuck cares, honestly, at this point? Fucking the groundskeeper gets fucking killed after his horse
first
dies.
He goes up and like, hey Don, do you mind if I stay here a couple days? And then she's been murdered by balls.
Yeah.
And he runs, and the ball follows, and he goes to his car and gets what I wrote down as a stupid amount of weapons. Yes.
One of which he never uses.
Most of which he never uses, because there's several guns, a pair of nunchucks, even though he's never seen those be functional, several knives,
No, but
a drill,
one weapon
and
in
a
particular.
fucking katana!
That's the one.
I'm annoyed
That's
by
the
his
one
katana.
that really aggravates me, because it could have come in handy, like, several times.
Also, there are so many moments in this movie where he's actually using guns that piss me off, because the guns are very clearly not the quad-barrel shotgun.
Yeah. He only ever uses it, like...
Dude, that
times,
is your
maybe
weapon.
twice.
That is,
Yeah.
to you, what the Atlantean sword is to Conan, what
Right.
the PPK is to James Bond, and what the bullwhip is to Indiana Jones.
Oh, but I will give kudos to Demeter, who, like, just baseball swings the hell out of that one ball, and then it just bounces back on him and it just, like, hits him.
There's
right
a
in the
slightly
jugular.
worrying scene where a horse gets murdered by balls.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the credits, they don't have the no animals were harmed in the making of this movie.
I'm pretty sure they just forgot.
But it's still, ooh, that's not good. They
Yeah.
killed a horse.
oh my.
And then Reggie just, hey dude, I think your horse is dead.
Yep.
I don't know why he tried to sound like fucking Bill and Ted, but he...
It's just the way it comes out, man. It's just like, it's like Ash trying not to be Ash.
Then Demeter gets killed
Bruce
by a
Campbell,
ball. And then
Yeah.
Reggie escapes.
Mm-hmm.
But he's back in the park with Mike.
Yeah, and he's also walking in the desert, apparently.
It's a
At the same
confusing
time.
ass film.
Yeah.
And then there's Mike's like, hey, I've been thinking about your story, and have you ever heard of membrane? And it goes on to explain multiverse theory and membrane theory.
Yeah.
And it's just, Look, if you need to explain membrane theory for your plot to make sense, you need a new plot line.
Yeah.
Because that's...
Just, like, slim that shit down. Don't have to go, like, off
It's
the
like
rails
it's
with it.
trying to be the Dark Tower at this point. Like the Dark Tower books.
Yeah, but not even the Dark Tower has, like, as many stories going at once.
Yeah, but the Dark Tower didn't try to explain it. The Dark Tower's like, right, there's a tower, and every level's a different reality. Go.
Yeah. But
It's
granted, this is only 3 stories,
true.
and they could be done coherently. They're just not in this.
And then Reggie is walking through the woods with his weapons.
Yeah.
And then he's met by a giant ball, and I wrote it in all caps. Giant ball!
Big ball. Death Star ball.
And he finds the dimension forks.
Yep.
And they're back in the park, and Mike might be an illusion.
Uh-huh.
And,
This is very possible.
and Reggie escapes his wheelchair and walks around the park of the nursing home and also finds some forks.
Yes.
I wrote it in a way that doesn't make sense in context, which is just Reggie find forks in park, touches them.
Yeah, and they lead to Angus Grim, like I said in the White Room before, and they talk about it.
But it's Weapon Reggie.
Yeah.
I'm looking at them like they're action figures now. There's Ice Cream Man Reggie, Weapon Reggie, and Old Reggie.
And then super old tall man.
Collect them all to
tall man.
buy them all to build your own tall man.
Yeah. Shiny eyed fucking Mike.
Yeah. And
Galaxy Brain Mike, Therapist
the
Mike,
tall man's looking very old.
Apocalypse Leader Mike.
Tall man's very old. Angus Grim is 89.
You can collect them all.
And he's like, hey, you've been giving me a lot of trouble, but that's okay. You're just doing your thing. Tell you what, if you agree to just fuck off and leave me the hell alone, I'll give you your family back.
I want my family back.
Or you can have
No, but he doesn't
mystery
even
box.
want his family back. He wants.
You can have your
Mike
family.
and,
You can have your
and
family
Georgie
back. Or mystery box.
Yeah, he chooses mystery box,
Yep.
but he shouldn't be poking his fingers in there because fucking some really bad games are in there. I'm pretty sure Mr. Bones is in there somewhere.
I'm pretty sure Yeti and My Spaghetti is in there.
I'm pretty sure the Wanted game is in there somewhere.
Alright, so he's in the mortuary from the first movie.
Yep.
And then the lady in lavender appears, being
Right.
spooky. Her face goes all meh, and she makes like a scraping sound as she goes across the floor, floating.
Yeah. Well, like, it's actually sparking as she's getting dragged across the floor, but, like, Reggie just, like, shoots her in the face.
Yep.
A
And-
dark cave appears
Yeah,
in the hall.
dark sludge cave. He kills some dwarves, and then the cave is a rocket space.
Yes.
He goes to the frickin' astral plane,
Yeah, basically.
and the tall man's like, "Yo, your human emotions, like your faith in," and just they have the Return of the Jedi conversation. Reggie's like,
yeah,
"You're
just,
over,"
have you considered my offer?
and Reggie's like, "Your overconfidence is your weakness," and the tall man's like, "Your faith in your friends is yours."
You're weak and you're gonna die.
Oh, I'm afraid the deflector shields will be quite
Quite
operational
operational
on this
when
fully
your friends
armed and
arrive.
operational Death Sphere.
And now say goodbye to your home planet.
Dantooine.
which is
The rebel
basically
base
what
is on Dantooine.
Yeah. Fucking
And,
Angus Scrim just going, no.
and then
when he
Ice
sees
Cream
the
Man
script.
Reggie wakes up in a lab with
Yeah.
his head between some sticks, and I guess who is being kept in the Matrix.
Yeah, but also the, like, yeah, it just, like, the basement is just, like, empty aside from him. It's like nobody else was down here being held by, like, weird
Well, there
sort
was
of
another,
brain...
but his head was ripped
forks.
open.
Like, yeah, his head was inside of the interdimensional tuning forks, apparently.
Well, there's another one whose head was in the interdimensional tuning forks, but the tall man cut his head open and took the ball inside.
Okay, well,
It's not important.
yeah, it's really
We
not.
meet something.
It looked empty aside from him being down there.
We
that's all.
meet Chuck. He's rescued by Dawn, who's actually Jane.
Yeah,
and
she has a different name.
Chuck,
And doesn't remember him.
who I refer to as the legit midget, because he's a dwarf, but he isn't an evil dwarf. He's just
Yeah.
happens to
It's
suffer
just,
from
hey, I'm a
dwarfism.
midget. I'm just so happen to still be alive in all of this shit, and I'm also badass.
We find out that the tall man has conquered the earth.
Yep.
Spheres and gravers are everywhere.
Yeah. Also, Reggie tries to sing the song to her, to Dawn, but or Jane in this case, and he doesn't. She doesn't remember.
They just assume he's crazy because he probably is.
Exactly. Chuck shoots a dwarf that jumps Reggie, and he's just like, "I hate these little bastards."
And
Reggie's like, "Yeah, me too."
they're in an abandoned hospital,
Yeah.
of course, because it's always an abandoned hospital. Reggie goes off on his own because he's an idiot.
Yeah.
He gets
ends
saved.
up meeting up with the group though.
True, he got saved by Chuck, and then Mike's there, and he's like, I'm still a psychic. I'm the...
Yeah, he pulls off the whole like.
I'm Mad Max now.
Goggles and everything. He's
all
like, "I'm John Connor.
Mix.
Come with me if you want to live."
My name is Mix.
Yep.
And this is...
It's fucking post-apocalypse, just straight up. Like, it's all just
So
Mad Max.
So we're going home? Yeah, there's only one trouble. It's not our home anymore.
This is his home now.
And the probably the coolest scene that's actually in the film. We go through this red street, and there's
City on fire.
There's dwarves dancing on cars.
City on fire.
There's balls flying around. Everything's red.
Mischief.
The sun is a
Yeah.
phantasm ball.
Yeah. It's fucked up, man. It's like fucking the Berserk like eclipse, but with a gigantic fucking Death Star ball.
And we get the dun dun dun.
Yeah. There's like a bunch of survivors still fighting like grave robbers and like midgets in the streets and like shooting at balls and everything too. Like,
and
it's a horror show.
I think
it's great.
I know what this movie reminds me of now.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Armageddon? Not Armageddon. Doomsday.
Oh yeah, it is kind of Doomsday-esque.
It's like the run-up. Like Doomsday was they took all the different end of the world movies, put them in a blender, and made something awesome. This is you put all the end of the world movies, put them in a blender, and did not get something awesome.
Yeah, this is still somewhat child-friendly. Like, I would let my kid watch this.
Like, the first one is...
Doomsday is not.
Like, Doomsday is chocolate and peanut butter.
Yeah.
This is orange juice and toothpaste. It's not really the best mix.
Yeah.
And then Reggie's in the nursing home.
Dimensional jumps, though. We're still getting dimensional jumps because he's back in the ward and he's talking to Jebediah again, and then he gets grabbed by a nurse.
He's back in the nursing home, and the nursing home is the same as the Apocalypse Hospital.
Yep, it's the same place. I'm pretty sure it's just Morningside.
And then
in general,
a graver.
I just called it Morningside Institute when I was watching it.
A graver grabs Reggie in the Apocalypse, and then Reggie's back in the nursing home, maybe. But nope, there's someone gets killed by a red spiky sphere.
Yeah, the red ball is my fucking favorite because it's just a floating like urchin of like spikes.
It's a sea mine.
It's a sea mine, but in the air. It grips onto your head with the spikes, and it just goes. It's great.
And then Reggie's in the nursing home again, and Mike visits him, and Mike's like, "Hey man, you know that thing you told me about the tall man? I think you're right, and I was There's a yellow hole in my head." And I don't know, and I think...
I tried to sew it up again.
And I don't know how I survived after Phantasm 4, because I clearly died at the end of that movie, and I don't know how I'm back.
But he remembers blowing him up with the hearse and everything.
Yeah, that was a cool scene.
He remembers blowing up the tall man. And then he just, like, explains the literal apocalypse being like, oh yeah, there was, like, disease and death all over the place.
Yeah, there was...
People were getting their heads popped from the back. And
there was a disease, and you should all probably be wearing masks and staying at least 6 feet apart.
This is a way worse example of a fucking, like... destructive disease though, because it's like whereas corona is just like slowly killing your lungs, this is blowing holes out the back of your skull.
Yes. It's the Kenshiro virus.
Yeah.
You are already dead.
Blown up. Tall man gets blown up in a hallway. Well, a tall man gets blown up in a hallway by a rocket.
And then Reggie's in the nursing home. He gets a visit by Mike and gets rescued. The tall man captured Jane. They go to the Red World.
Screen.
And Chuck is like, "Hey," he throws his hood back. I'm not a dwarf. I'm Chuck. and he
Yeah.
has a bomb vest strapped to him, and he tackles the tall man and blows him
He
up.
kills like 3 people with a fucking knife at first, though.
Yeah, he's really cool.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Then there are thousands
Reg
of...
and Mike jump through a fork.
And we see just a white room and thousands and thousands and thousands of Angus scrims.
Yeah.
And the tall man's just, the best part about being me is that there are so many me's.
That shot of all the Angus scrims was like really, really cool. I liked that one a lot.
And then they escape the place. Nice. Jodie's back in a Mad Max version of the Cuda.
Yeah.
Then they get on the road and drive to the future.
Yeah, and it's like it's got miniguns on it, and they're like in the car, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go north because the tall man hates cold."
And then Chuck's alive,
which is smart.
and he hooks up with Rocky, and they get picked up.
Mm-hmm.
But before that's mid credits, but before that, in the nursing home dimension, which sounds like the most depressing dimension imaginable,
it totally does.
Reggie dies.
Yeah,
and Mike and a still alive Jodie are at his bedside.
That's the one part of the movie that I was like, yes, that actually makes me feel something, and this gives this movie merit, you know? It's like, it wasn't for nothing because of this scene, you know? That's the one thing that I could take away from it.
As Reggie looks up, he sees the other Reggie in the other world fighting.
Yeah.
And
also, Chuck and Rocky have like a little bit of a cute moment.
Chuck's missing a hand, so we can. I choose to assume he like gets a mini chainsaw hand.
He might.
That's what I choose to believe.
Yeah, he's like, he comes out of the hole and he's just like, "Hey, that's the best thing about fireballs: amputation and cauterization, all in one brilliant, bright little package."
And then the credits, we get a pretty bad Phantasm rap.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not that bad.
It's not that good.
It's pretty bad,
either.
but it's not that bad.
It's better than the song from the end of Phantasm 4 where he just sang, "Have you seen it?" over the Phantasm theme.
Yeah, or the fucking rap that's at the end of Rogue Warrior. Just fucking, thanks a lot, motherfuckers. Happy fucking birthday. Done.
Then in the credits, we get the best scenes in the movie. Like there's a giant balls at conquering cities.
Yeah. It's flashing whatever we saw before, basically.
And there's some jet planes go to fight them, and then a jet plane, like, Death Star runs between two of the giant spheres, and they smash into each other.
They're pretty dope. It's some pretty cool shots.
And then Chuck is fighting guys with a knife, and then they're killing gravers with katanas.
Yeah. And it's like, this is all the stuff we should have seen in the movie.
And then we see the tall man, but he has the two-face face from Dark Knight. Because he got blown up, but he's not dead.
Oh, man.
And
it's like all of these things should have been like in the actual movie, but they didn't make it in.
And it ends on a cliffhanger, unfortunately.
Yeah. But that's the end of the franchise for the time being, at least.
Like, if they make a remake with A. Michael Baldwin as the Tall Man, that I'd be in favor of.
I'd be down for that, yeah.
If they make a comic book series continuing it, that would be awesome as well.
It'd be cool, too.
But all in all, it's better than Pumpkinhead.
So, rate it.
I'm going to give it 8 balls.
8 balls?
8 balls. 8 balls.
8 balls?
In the corner pocket.
Okay. Alright. I'm gonna give it Reggie doing donuts in the Mad Max Plymouth while like jumping across like Death Star balls, shooting at them with the Gatling guns,
so
swinging a bag of Gophers, chugging a bottle of Aunt Jemima's pancake mix.
Again with the Gophers and pancake mix with you. It's always Gophers and pancake mix with you.
Always. All the time. I have to mention the Aunt Jemimas though, because they're getting rid of Aunt Jemima from the bottle.
Okay.
Aunt Jemimas. So I have to mention that because like that's a thing.
Sounds a bit like a non-issue to me, but whatever.
It's an issue to me. It's so iconic.
Well,
anyways, whatever. It was a good movie.
That's been Halloween.
I liked it. It was a good movie, but it could have been much better.
And we're back to regularly scheduled content Sorry, I can't talk today. Next week, and we're going to be watching another movie about giant worms. The graboids are back.
On my end, my content will slowly be getting better. Hopefully before this.
Maybe existing.
And on top of that, I'm gonna be it's gonna be out there. I'm gonna be making more stuff.
It better.
But on the plus side, I have been working on a comic book that's hopefully going to be coming out by today. So if it's coming out and it is out, link will be in description. If not, just go to my YouTube channel and I'll announce it and whatever when it comes out.
That
But
YouTube channel is Tank Base,
Halloween.
by the way.
Yep. Come check out the Tank Base and go look at that link in the description if and when it's there. So, and hopefully you enjoy this horror comic I'm making.
So guys, be
been having
safe,
fun with it.
wear your masks, keep social distancing, and happy Halloween.
Yep. Have a fun and safe one, guys.
Don't be an idiot or the tall man will blow up your head.
Don't inject too many ounces of heroin into your system. Not this year, at least.
No.
Maybe next year.
Anyway, see you guys next week. Happy Halloween.
Later.
Peace.
Peace.